Okay, now down to the last item. Councilman Buckland.
Thank you, Mayor. Had a meeting over in Marysville on the Yuba City Homeless Consortium, which is now kind of transitioning as a conduit, not an extra layer of government, into a JPA. We're excited about the opportunity for all of the jurisdictions to participate in trying to come together and to really kind of coalesce and come together around the homeless issues as they are in our specific region. So this will include jurisdictions like Live Oak and Wheatland and Marysville, Yuba City, Yuba County, and certainly Yuba City. And so those efforts, we don't know exactly what they're going to look like. There are efforts currently underway independently within Sutter County and Yuba County, Marysville, very, monetary contributions by Yuba City towards homeless efforts. But you're going to see a more concentrated effort coming forward, probably a far more robust endeavor in trying to come up with better systems, consolidated systems that don't have a lot of overlap to them. So we're excited. We think that moving in this direction will be beneficial to our community and certainly may relieve our community of some of the homeless conditions that we currently have. Attended the River Valley High School graduation. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail other than it was really nice to be able to be there to watch Tom Russer finally graduate from high school. And he's now been demoted down to, I think, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, something like that, over in Marysville. Also attended the Yuba City High School graduation. Had to leave partway through it, but certainly one moment that I thought was absolutely outstanding at the Yuba City High School graduation is when 12 of the graduating class stood to be recognized for their entry into the U.S. military, and the entire 4,000 people present at the Yuba City High School graduation stood and gave a standing ovation that lasted for 30 seconds. It was humbling to be there and realize how much our community cares about what is going on a national and world stage. Also attended the Sacramento Area Council of Governments Government Relations and Public Affairs committee meeting yesterday morning. And one of the proposals that I've been pushing forward, and we've had meetings on, there's been regional meetings on this to include the state of California, Cal OES, and all of the other jurisdictions within the 6 counties, is on disaster preparedness and the opportunity to look at modeling that will help provide residents, the media, and first responders with current dynamic data given any disaster that may occur in our area. We want to focus primarily to begin with on flood activities, but certainly we want to be able to have this thing available also for earthquakes and other natural disasters that may occur. So there is, right now, there are 2 staff members at SACOG moving forward on this, looking at different modeling that's available. We're also pulling all of our base mapping together to be able to include into a project to determine what the cost would be, because we do have some, not absolute assurance, but we do have support for grant funding through FEMA to be able to move forward with something that is not available anywhere else in the United States. This would be a model piece that would be able to be moved to other jurisdictions. Also, very proud of the work that Yuba City has done, and certainly James Gallagher, our assemblyman, and Senator Nielsen, with his support on the side of AB 810. This is to take money from the Caltrans owned right-of-way for a third bridge and build it basically that if that property were sold or liquidated by Caltrans, the money would go to the state's general fund, but not with AB 810 in play. That would take and set that money aside for third bridge right-of-way and other activities related to a third bridge. And that passed our assembly on a 77-0 vote. So for staff that's worked on it, Darren, to our city manager and others that have been involved in that, this is a great step forward. Also, I couldn't be more happy to recognize myself, SunSuite, in our community. The fact that they have been here since the 40s. I have a business inside their old plant. Yeah, I could be a little upset with SunSuite, but I'm not. They started that plant in phases. They were a great model because they started building in 1947. In 1958, they expanded. 1963, again, they expanded. They produce over 400,000 cases of dried fruit product each day to supply the world. So I think that we are absolutely blessed to have an organization that employs on average about 800 people in our community and has been a steadfast supporter in our community for all these years. That's all I have.
Not to only include the farmers that supply them with
The 300 farm members that are members of the SunSuite Co-op. So absolutely.
All over the place with that. Okay, moving on to Council Member Cardoza.
Okay, I've had a busy couple of weeks again. We'll start off with meetings. I attended the Regional Housing Authority, Yuba City Transit Authority, Sutter Community Affordable Housing, the Sutter Buttes Flood Control Agency Community Meeting we had here at the Veterans Hall, LAFCO, Planning Commission, Northern Sacramento Valley Regional Water Management Group, and I also met with Juan Lopez. For city events, I attended the Police Officers Memorial Ceremony, the United Way Community Fair, Resource Fair, the annual Kiwanis Lobster Feed, the 100-year anniversary of our Sutter County Library, Fan and Media Day for our new Yuba City Bears baseball team, and then Memorial Day weekend, I attended the Freedom Heroes Memorial, the Grateful Nation Remembers at the Calvary Christian Center. That was a wonderful presentation they did. Attended the Yuba City Employees Appreciation Night, both graduations, Yuba City and River Valley. Was there for the Yuba County's new Sheriff's Office grand opening and ribbon cutting, Plymouth Street's first Thursday night, and the 9th Annual Cancer Survivor Celebration. And then I was lucky yesterday, I met with the students in our Summer at City Hall program. For chamber events, it was just business after hours with Iverson Orthodontics, the Business Connection Breakfast, Fiesta Friday, and a couple of ribbon cuttings with McNally Appliance's new location on Plymouth Street and Freedom Mortgage Company. And then I'd also like to let everybody know that it's early, but if you've noticed, there's stuff in the air already. The folks are shooting illegal fireworks off in the air already. It started a few days ago, and 4th of July is not for another 3 weeks. So if you see anything like that, please contact Yuba City Police Department, and it's 822-4661. Let them know, give them a general area, and we'll see what we can do for you. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Harris.
Must be nice to be retired. Get all those.
He's truly retired. He's the only one that's truly retired.
Holy moly! You just stand up and take a look for that cape. Pretty busy. Also, I spend a lot of free time in the evenings and whatnot, trying to educate myself, continue to do so, to stay as well versed as possible in our budgetary process. It's very complicated and confusing from the outside looking in, so I'm trying to work my way into that. Same thing with all things water and wastewater. Still appreciate that, and I definitely appreciate the talk with Robin and Diana about what you guys do, and I look forward to many more conversations and questions, hopefully. But so doing that, also development processes, getting phone calls from different folks in the community, and how to navigate, how their side navigating through different things to try to get a project off the ground and move forward. So that's very good. It's been a lot of time doing that. Community meetings and whatnot, I tell you, a lot of them. Peace Officer Memorial at Yuba City PD was very interesting, and they did a really good job, had a good turnout. I also went to the Business Connection Breakfast. I took my little brother from that Big Brother, Big Sister program to the Kiwanis Fishing Derby at Ellis Lake. That was a good time over there. We caught a lot of moss and a lot of trees. I think not one fish, but it was good. United Way Community Resource Fair at the Gaucher Aquatic Park. The city budget workshop, as we mentioned, the Beale Military Liaison out there at Beale Air Force Base. So now I have an honorary commander assigned to a civil engineer. I haven't met him yet, but looking forward to doing a lot of time and work out there. It's a great way to represent the city for Beale. Several Yuba City Bears events, the exhibition game with the Gold Sox, and also the opening night with Yuba City Employee Appreciation. It's always a good time out there. So if you all haven't made it out to a game yet, I definitely would recommend it. It's a good time. Root for the home team. Yuba City's first Thursday out there on Plumas Street. Made it to River Valley High School graduation, which was very good. Almost got taken out by a falcon, but that's okay. It was good. I did not make it to Yuba City High School's graduation because my niece graduated from Faith Christian the same night, so that's where I was. And we had some folks representing over at the Yuba City Bears parade down, I think it was C Street in Marysville. Made it to welcome the students to the Summer of City Hall program on their first day. And just as a side note, I am continuing to have conversations with local law enforcement on both sides of the river as far as maintaining and meshing our evacuation policies for disasters and whatnot, so we can get those. We all have our plans. We have an obligation to have a plan, county, city, and whatnot in both sides. But I think we need to make a point of making sure those plans are all compatible with one another. Otherwise, they're going to be pretty much worthless. So those talks are still in the works. And then most importantly, on June 1st, I got to be present for my granddaughter's birth over there at the new Rideout facility. So that was kind of nice. Hour and a half long ordeal of, I don't know what kind of noises she was making, but it was interesting. From behind, I was behind the curtain. I didn't get to see everything, but little Charlie Robin Graham. So that's my third grandchild, second granddaughter. So busy 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but it was a good time. So thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, congratulations. Was that big party at the house next door? Was that about the baby?
No, that was my niece's graduation party.
Okay, that was a graduation party.
Yeah.
I live right next door to his mother, so whenever there's big parties, I get to mess with them a little bit. They're very calm ones. Okay, moving on to Vice Mayor Didball.
Awesome. It has been a very busy 2 weeks. Lots of graduations. Did have several meetings as well. I had the transit meeting, and they are continuing with the card system. I believe they're going to go with the pilot program and take it out to Sacramento, and there is going to be a tour out there. I can't remember the date. Do you remember the date? It's it's in July.
And it's in Sacramento.
In Sacramento.
Randy Field.
Correct. We also, like Robin said, we had the budget workshop. I have been overloaded with numbers with the city as well as my state office. So it is just that time of the year. It is numbers everywhere. So thank you for a great report last week. I really appreciate all the clarity and that's always very, very helpful. Same thing with Diana. Your presentation is always clear and concise, and that helps quite a bit when we're looking at all the numbers. So thank you. LAFCO meeting, actually, Councilmember Buckland attended that for me because that was the evening that my daughter had her, and you forgot to indicate what happened there. but we can go back to that. But I couldn't make that meeting because my daughter had her signing and commitment night, so that was a priority for me to be there. Also did attend the Kiwanis lobster feed, which was a great night and just belly full by the time I left. River Valley High School and the Yuba City High School graduations were phenomenal as always. River Valley was extra special for me because my daughter did graduate, and I apparently photobombed her picture.
Pink flash.
Yeah, didn't realize that was happening. And then yesterday, we actually had our first day with the Summer at City Hall program, which was a great kickoff. The students were actually very quiet the first day, which is typical. But from today, they had a little bit more involvement. So as the 3 weeks progress, I think they're going to get more and more comfortable. And we look forward to seeing that mock City Council meeting to be held on June 22nd. And that is open to the public to come and view. The students after they've completed their research, and they will do the staff reports as we had today, and hold their own city council meeting before their graduation ceremony. So I think that was about it on my end.
Yes, well, very good. Yeah, active, very, very active 3 or 4 weeks we've had. Man, there were so many for me. Peace Officer Memorial. I had the privilege of laying one of the white roses on the table in honor of that. It's real special to me because my son is a deputy sheriff in Sac County, and we're always concerned about him, in his life. So we do have a peace officer and direct family in my son. Did attend the River Valley High School graduation. Fantastic graduation. They did have 21 go into the military, or already had signed, but they didn't have the standing ovation. That is the difference. But we definitely recognize that our community, the youth, actually see the value and the honor in being in the military and serving and getting that the education and supporting our freedoms. May 27th through 29th, went to many memorial remembrance ceremonies in the community. For some very unique ones this year. The gentleman from 13 Hours that was there was actually here in this community. He spoke twice on Sunday at the I can't remember. A Grateful Nation Remembers ceremonies, and he's edgy. He is real edgy. He has no qualms of telling people the truth and being right out there. And then let's see here, May 20th, actually the lobster feed, that was me. I was one of the primary, put that on. I cooked 32 gallons of clam chowder. I do it in 2 batches, 16 gallons at a time. And had 5 gallons left over, which went out in quarts like crazy, and people were taking it home.
It was good job. I took 2 home.
Oh, okay. Well, hearing that from her, that's very good. And I have a special recipe that I refuse to cut back on the quality, and so that's really what it takes. I spoke at the Sutter Union High School Junior Statesman's Assembly, and the reason I mention this is because it was on apathy and has to do with the local apathy of being involved in government and being a part of it. And that was fantastic to see so many students and families actually looking at government in a proper way. It's not your enemy, but you can be part of it. If you're not part of it, it can be your adversary. And that's one of the reasons Summer at City Hall is done, is so that the youth will get that. Let's see, June 5th, I was at the Feather River Air Quality Management District on Monday, which is the one that does the finding of the people that do the illegal burns and the hazardous dumping and all kinds of stuff like that. Had that meeting. Let's see here, last night, Councilmember Buckland and I sat in on a town hall forum type thing with one of the tea parties in the area. Some people were worried that they were going to come out with, I say pitchforks and torches and stuff, and they weren't. They were very good. One of the reasons is because over the past year, 2 years, we've been at the city getting them information on what's really happening in the city in the form of documents, what's going on, flipping, and they can just take it and start reading it. Oh, this is it. Wow, you guys are doing a lot. And so we've been informing them very well what's been happening. And that, takes the questions that they have and reduces them down to the more serious and ones that take a little more time to explain, and we try to get that to them also. A lot of good questions there. And one of the reasons I wasn't at, I have to admit, at the budget session this last week was because I was on vacation with my family out of the state, which we started planning 14 months ago. So I was not going to set aside a 14-month plan. It's my military son he came back from Iraq, and I had promised him that I'd take him on a vacation. We set the date, and that's what we kept to it.
Where'd you take him?
Walt Disney World.
There you
Hey, my wife's and my favorite location to escape and become kids again. Forget all about the hard work that we do all the time and just become kids. And we usually run everybody's legs off because when we're gone and just try to keep up with us. So it's a great place to go and forget, the real world sometimes. Other than that, go Yuba City Bears. I've got my pin on here. I threw the first pitch in on the first home game. It was over the plate, and it had a little heat on it. It was accurate, luckily. I did practice. I was not going to throw it in the dirt and be embarrassed, and they won that night. So that was a great thing for that. And then I also intended the inaugural 3-inning one that we did also on the Sunday before.
So I wanted to be there for you to throw out that first pitch because there was a pool on how far in front of the plate you were going to put it in the dirt. Did it actually go in the glove?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's online somewhere. Somebody has it posted, and so
Mr. Mayor, I did capture that, and I sent it over to our public affairs individual who posted it right online. So obviously it was a good pitch because we wouldn't post it on Facebook if it didn't represent you well.
No, I would have been thankful if you hadn't, but I definitely put some as much effort into that as I do my everything else to make sure that I didn't embarrass myself and others. With that, meeting adjourned.